headbanging for our guest today, which you will find out in a few minutes, in a little while.
I'm glad that you're doing that. That's very perfect for our show today. How are you, Tim?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. Welcome to If These Walls Could Talk, everybody. It's Wednesday. We're always happy to have you all here. Makes Tim and I feel like we are loved.
Yes. I'm Tym Moss.
I'm Wendy Stuart. But you people know that, right? You tune in every week because you love us. Tim, this was like such a good week. I think I told you I was doing a Bridgerton event on Friday night with a Hanacue dance company. And you know what? Everyone in our audience took it to heart. They all came like but not, it wasn't even like half baked. It was complete Bridgerton with hair, makeup. Somebody even had a dance card dangling from her arm.
Oh, I love that.
And they all I had such a blast doing that. And we also, Hanacue was doing this wonderful show with her dancers. They did some classic dancers mixed with modern. And then she decided that she would do a workshop with all of us. That's when we found out who had two left feet in the waltz. But yeah, I tell you, it was such a good time, followed up by drag bingo in a place called the Cooperage in Honesdale, Pennsylvania, with Urethra Van Defrins and Bell Pepper. Bell Pepper, of course, hosted. Urethra was a guest. Tim, you would remember Urethra. She's been on the show. Just a majorly, incredibly funny, talented. This was beyond drag. And, I got to call that out because we all hear about drag bingo or whatever. This was an amazing comedy show that went on for 3 hours. I got home and it was like, I know, it was like I had done my facial exercises because I was laughing. My face was nice and smooth when I got home. So I'm excited for you, Tim. Your event is like right around
Yes. For over a year, I've been working on a project called Project Transcend, where we got 6 amazing artists together, and they're all in the trans and gender nonconforming community. And they did a thing called body mapping, which is where it's a 12-week process. And at one point, each artist would lay down on canvas and we trace their body. And then they create their story within the confines of their body's frame. And the results were incredible. And the LGBT Center on 13th Street picked it up, and they're exhibiting all of the artwork for 3 months. And we're having an opening reception next Tuesday, March 31st. So if you want to go, follow me on my social media, and I have the QR code there. Right.
And Tim will hook you up and get you in. And tonight on my other podcast, TriVersity Talk, Tym Moss and Cheryl Paley. Cheryl is the director of this program. Tym Moss, of course, is co-director, and 2 of their wonderful artists.
Yes, Amira and Luca.
Amira and Luca, who, if you look at the work that they're doing and their artistic background, I'm very excited to have all of you on there and really share what body mapping is, because a lot of people don't know what it is, right? And what an incredible way to tell someone's journey, right?
Yeah, it's really been incredible. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But I'm in the middle of promotional mode and
promo
mode and production mode and this mode and that mode. I haven't even had time to think. So
moto. This Sunday I'm shooting a film called The Watch, and my character is named Auntie. She is a very snobby, over the top aunt, and that's all I'll say. This is really a stretch for me. I'm really looking forward to shooting it. There's been a lot of nice small films lately, and until that Netflix film comes calling, I'm happy to be working. Right? That's what we say. So speaking, happy to be working. Our guest today, first of all, they have a very fabulous name, but I'm going to hold off on that because I want to first talk about their new dramatic hot track. It's called Twisted. A name that's going to ring a bell for you is Dee Snider, right? From Twisted Sister, right? And you all remember that. And we have some really great video to show you today too. So I love our guest's name, and I am very happy to welcome to the show John Blaze.
Yay!
That's some introduction. How am I going to live up to that now?
Because you're on fire.
That's
You're
it,
all.
I'm out.
No, you know what?
Thank
I
you.
love that. I love that. John, come back to me. There you are. You're good. But that's such a great name. That's a name people will remember.
Thank you. You know where? Can I tell you the origin of that?
Absolutely.
So I have one of these long Italian last names that don't phonetically kind of roll off.
What is that? If you don't mind.
Sure, it's Pisciotta.
Bisciotta.
Like prosciutto cheese.
Blaze is much easier.
The blaze is much easier. But what happened was, from singing in the nightclubs, you can hear my throat gets a little hoarse. So my grandmother, God bless her, 96 years old, comes up to me and say, John, your voice, she goes, I'll say a prayer to Saint Blaise for you. So
I love it.
Saint Blaise. I said, who's that? And she told me he's the guardian of the throat. And I said, the guardian, I could use that. So 25 years, oh boy, it's been about almost 30 years I've been using that name to carry it with me for a little protection because I'm the singer.
I love that.
Only an Italian grandmother would know about this Saint Blaise. You know? I never heard of this saint, John. Neither did Tim. But
Saint Blaise. They bless your throat. They actually have a day that they do it. And my grandmother was awesome. I was in Kiss. She would make me all my clothes and stuff for the stage.
Oh.
But how incredibly supportive to have a grandmother like that. And I bet you she made sauce on Sunday too.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And we still carry that tradition.
Nice.
Love it.
So in a way, with your name, you're carrying your grandmother with you. I love that.
That's kind of pretty hip. Yes,
yeah,
look
actually,
at it that way.
Right. We call her to the show today. So we're really happy to have you. I mean, tell us about first of all, your new emergence, your rebirth. It's a rebirth. And tell us about Twisted and how this all came about.
So actually the lyrics to Twisted is older. It's back in the days when we were the opening act for Twisted Sister. So that's how my band originally started in the early days. And then the Twisted kind of goes through their change. They were breaking up. And the first incarnation of our band, which is Scarecrow, Eddie Ojeda, the guitar player from Twisted Sister, was actually in the band for the first record. And so I had those lyrics a long time ago. And then Twisted Sister was doing their 50-year anniversary. I don't know if you've heard about that, but they've been promoting that. And I said, wow, this is a really cool time to bring those lyrics to life. So I went in and wrote the music, and then I started singing it. And then I said to myself, you know, I'm friends with Dee Snider for 40 plus years. I said, this would be really hip if you sang maybe even the chorus with me. He heard the song and he goes, I'll sing a verse. Just tell me what you want to sing.
Wow.
So he joins me on the second verse and then in the chorus. It's kind of a celebration of our friendship and their 50-year reunion tour that they're actually doing right now.
Nice.
It's also a celebration of you as a musician. You know, we have been trending on our show with this kind of thing. Cool. People from the late 80s, early 90s, names you've heard, opened for big bands, then quiet, now reemergence. You know, it's like a butterfly coming out of a chrysalis, I guess. And we are so happy to be able to support that reemergence. And I love, first of all, that Dee Snider and you have been friends for 40 years. You know, good rockers, those friendships never stop.
Absolutely. You know, sometimes singers and singers don't get along. So this is a very isolated incident. You know,
now you also have somebody from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Mark Wood, yes.
You have Mark Wood. We interviewed on here. There's another person with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra that has crossed over. I've had a couple of people from Trans-Siberian Orchestra that I remember. I totally loved it. It's great pleasure to know that these musicians are still out there creating and, you know, doing their thing.
Absolutely. Mark is a wonderful guy. Actually, we did a project once. People might have heard of it, called Van Helsing's Curse. It was
Yes.
like a 30-piece orchestra. We had a residency at the Hard Rock in Las Vegas, and Dee would come out and narrate, and I was part of that entourage. And that's where I met Mark Wood, who just came off the road with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, so we became friends. And I sent him the track Twisted, and I said, Dee's gonna do a vocal. He's like, I'll play whatever he wants to. He actually
That's
plays
so cool.
Don't
the
you love
second
that?
half of the guitar
Right.
lead that sounds like a lead is actually his electric violin. It's pretty hip.
Wow.
Very cool.
Absolutely amazing. I love these stories of how people really in the music world, more than any world, I think, really support each other.
Yeah.
And you know, God bless, you're all still here. You know, really, we're just talking about that. People these days, I don't know, they all seem to be going to the other side. So
I know.
I'm
It's
sure
getting scary. It's getting scary, you know, to see friends or hear of things. But it is really cool to see people still going. I agree.
it's incredible. So you were known back in the day. I think early 90s, you were one of the hair bands.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you, for people that don't know, I was like Googling, I'm like a fiend for this, hair bands. Like, what defined, right? But it was more than that. It was like,
well, it was the
Big.
hairspray. Everything was about the spray.
the spray.
That's really where it coined the phrase from. You know, it started with, you know, the Poisons and Motley Crue and all those guys. You know, even the New York Dolls and all the
I
early
knew that. The New York,
Yeah, I mean, that generation, and all the songs were either about drugs or girls, you know. So that's sort of identified that era of the hair band. It was just, it was fun. It wasn't anything. We weren't talking politics. We just wanted to have a good time. It was that sort of generation.
Wow.
It was drugs, sex, hair, and rock and roll.
And exactly. And the hair, I think, was just a statement of trying to be bigger than life, you know.
Yeah.
Sort of, you know, the spray and just being in your face. And I believe in that. I grew up with like Alice Cooper and Kiss, of course. And I believe in show business. It's called show business. So if you're going to be in the business of show business, what's the show? You know, and I was a little disappointed where I took sort of my hiatus was you started getting more grunge bands and coming up in flannel t-shirts, and where the music was good, it felt like you just kind of walked off the street and then went on stage. And I love
no glam, no.
I like the element of show, you know, put on a show. So that was the idea of the hair band era.
Wow. So back in the day also, I'm going to tell you where I knew your name from.
Okay.
Times Square.
Yes.
You guys were the band there.
Correct. We had a small residency. It was a haunted mansion right outside.
It was so fun. I didn't get to see them, but it was that kind of thing.
It was very cool. And we'd have a plant in the audience who'd come up, a girl, and then we'd kill her. It was a whole sort of theatrical play. So Scarecrow in its early stages started out as like kind of the hair band kind of thing.
Right.
The big hooks, you know, talking about girls and having fun and that. And then it morphed into, technically, I kind of put the words I am in front of Scarecrow, called I Am Scarecrow. And that became the stage production. And then what I did is I made sure all my songs kind of connected into a certain storyline. And that's what we did at Times Square, because it was a sit-down theater. It was a different environment, you know. It was pretty hip.
It was a lot of fun, though. Tim, would you want to see the video first for Twisted?
I was just going to say, yes.
I read your mind. Tim and I read each other.
This is Scarecrow. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Thank
It's
you.
theatrical, it's dramatic. The
Cool.
sound works really well for now. It's very, to me, very in sound, Depeche Mode-y, and you'll know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Because I love that kind of music. And you have to tell us, who is the woman in the video with you singing?
That's Lisa McQuaid. She's fantastic. She's from New York, also wonderful singer that was with me also on the tour with Van Helsing. So we did this duet. And I always like to say in that scarecrow theme. So if you think of the Wizard of Oz and you think of Scarecrow and then you think of No Place Like Home, and that's where I wrote that song from.
Nice, nice.
That I always love that title. And you know, your home is where your heart is, kind of
Absolutely.
thing, you know. And
Two things. Oh, go ahead.
No, you know what I was going to say? Another interesting fact. We shot that video just like we actually, it was lower budget and we had students do it, which we thought was kind of hip. So it's like real grainy and little off kind of stuff. And we shot it at a place called the Paramount, which is in Huntington. And to show how close I am with Dee Snider, his wife Suzette, who's also a very personal friend, did my makeup. So a little bit of trivia.
But two things. Oh, I miss music videos.
Yeah. I know.
And I missed, they were cut off just at the point where, and I missed guitar solos.
Yeah. It
now,
was
speaking of the makeup,
yes.
Is there did you go on stage normally in full makeup? And what was the thought process behind that? Was there a meaning?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I was saying before, the early inception of Scarecrow is this hairband kind of thing, and then it morphs into this I am Scarecrow with the makeup. So there is a very long storyline about this character whose wife is killed and he's forced to watch her. It gets a little dark and it's a horror thing, but they sew the guy's mouth shut so he can't scream, and they sew his eyes shut. So that's the crosses in the eyes and this. So it has a whole sort of theme to it. That'll be a subject for a different day, but that's what we performed at Times Scare, is that evolution, you know. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree.
But you know how hard it is to try and get something like that off the ground, you know, when you're presenting an off-Broadway kind of play and you go through the politics, you try and find producers. And we just couldn't get it over that next step.
Well, we hear that a lot on this show. Again, I told you we've had a lot just in the past couple of weeks. I think we've had 4 people from the same kind of background as you. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And I have learned so much about the talent has nothing to do with it. It seems to be back in those days, the record deals and getting it pushed to the next level. And now, I mean, we fast forward into now where, you know, we've got a big mishmash out there of everyone dropping things everywhere. And it doesn't matter how good it is, it can end up nowhere. I am very frustrated by that.
Yeah, very frustrating. You know, an irony, a cool story with like where you're leading to is back in the day, I'll share a very brief story that during the hairband time, we showcased for record companies. And do you believe the comment was, I was the lead singer, why doesn't the lead singer have blonde hair? And so they passed on our band because I wasn't blonde. And if you think about it, it was Motley Crue, blonde, David Lee Roth, Van Halen, blonde, Poison, blonde, Brett Roses, all blonde. And I went out there with black hair. And so they actually, record companies, a few of the people walked out because it didn't kind of fit that mold.
So they didn't even want to hear your music. You just didn't look Right.
just to get, didn't kind of, it wasn't what they were looking for. And that leads me to one
Ah,
other thing that Dee has always told me too, is there's an important word which is called timing. And
Mhm.
so what is the industry looking for at that time? You
Right.
know, if it's looking for a blonde lead singer in this mold, that's fine. Who's next in line? I think that's one of the things I never liked about the music business part of it.
well,
You
the
know,
acting business, and Tim will back me up on this, is the exact same thing.
same thing.
And, I have a real bad time with it, wrapping my head around that. And I'm going to tell you why. That is such bandwagon bullshit to me. Like,
Yeah.
if a talent comes along, whether it's an actor or a band,
Yes.
the person can rise to the occasion, do the thing.
Right.
They're great to work with.
Yep.
Why on earth would you pass on them because of somebody? I'm going to say it's somebody's wet dream.
Yeah.
Too much
Well,
power in that.
Too
one
much
of the
power.
one of the problems that I see is that when it comes to art
Yes.
and packaging art, and this is about show business is about selling art.
Correct.
The problem with that are the people at the top that are doing the selling and the negotiating are
Correct.
not artists.
Correct.
So they
Correct.
don't have a respect for the actual art creation.
Yeah.
They're more in let's package it, let's move it around, and let's sell it. Money, 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 money.
Yep.
It's all about the money rather than about the quality of the art.
Right.
Yep. I couldn't
Mhm.
agree with you more on that. Absolutely.
Mhm.
You know, but the
Yeah.
only thing though that changes now in this kind of generation, what's going on now, you don't really have that record company, the guy at
Right.
the top.
Right.
So here's an irony though, and I think there's good things about that, and I think there's bad things
Mhm.
about that, because now everybody is out there.
Right.
Like
Right.
anybody
Absolutely.
can release anything.
Yes, and they do.
And there's nobody. Yeah, I know. And there's nobody to say, well, I'm sorry, that's really not that good.
Right.
And I'm not
Exactly.
saying that person is necessarily right, but there's an
Right.
irony to it about how the business has changed.
Absolutely, because there's a lot of mediocrity out there.
Absolutely.
And less than mediocrity.
Yes.
And so, and what I've tried to figure out is how do you get the quality to rise to the surface? That's
Yeah.
Let's
in
look
this
if we can
landscape.
solve that one. I
Good.
will say what has come from all of this, the word indie bands. There's
Right.
them in
Mhm.
Brooklyn, New York, I'm sure LA, Florida.
Yep.
There's a lot of them, and a lot of them now get opportunities to play live, which is really great. Are they going to have these amazing, right, star-studded careers that the people of the rock star career? I don't think very, very many people get that anymore.
Yeah.
However,
Mhm.
the opportunity to perform all over at
Yes.
anything is definitely out there now, so that's maybe one good thing that came from this.
Yeah, one of the reasons there was kind of a hiatus for me is when I saw the business changing and then kind of sinking into my shell, saying this is not for me. It also went through, here's one other things, if you don't mind, I wanted to just share with you.
Mhm.
There's a big resurgence of these tribute acts now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm saying, I have no, if you're doing it, that's cool. The only part that drives me a little crazy is if a Journey tribute band could go out and make $5,000 a night and support their family. And this guy who wrote a
The original
brilliant,
guy, yeah.
brilliant original song can't get a show for $250 in a downtown club in
Mhm.
Manhattan or something. That's a little frustrating, that part of it, Yeah.
It's frustrating, but it shows you how much things have changed. I know a lot of those bands that quote unquote do covers and they have a grand time doing it. It's none of their original music. And you're right. We're living in a time, and maybe this harkens back to what Tim said about mediocrity. Not that they're mediocre, they're great. I love the Stevie Nicks tributes band. My girlfriend was in one of them. But I think that people are perfectly happy to see that, because look at what's happened with the superstardom, right? We're in New York here, Madison Square Garden. What you end up having to pay for a ticket.
Oh God.
My goodness.
Insane. Whereas, someone in the heartland of the country can pay $35, $55, $60 for a ticket.
Yep.
Go listen to the songs that they love. I'm an ABBA freak, so I hate I would pay for an ABBA cover band.
Well, and the thing is it's nostalgia.
Thank you.
It's recognizable. It's music, it's what you're getting, what you're paying for, or you know what you're going to get. Yeah.
No, I agree. Just sitting down and watching just the one band being recreated was a little bit hard for me too.
It had to be. Right.
Yeah, a little hard to swallow. And I did get approached to do an Alice Cooper, and I turned it down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If you mentally don't want to do it, you're not going to feel good,
And see, that's what I mean. The thing is there could be money in that.
Yes.
But I'm so tired of money being the driving factor of this industry. I'm so damn tired of that.
Yep. That's why I do that. I actually was behind the scenes for about 10 years. And
what was that like for you? Like when you go from, opening
it's cool.
Sister, and then who did you like working with when you did that?
So I worked for a record producer. His name was Rick Wake, and I was his director of production. And we did just little acts like Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Taylor Dane. So we produced all their records. And what was cool for me, like what Tim was saying before, certain people in the record companies aren't from the business. And because I was on the road and I was a singer, I was able to understand what our artists were going through. Right. And it was weird, like just being with like Taylor Dane. I don't know if you remember Taylor, right?
Oh, sure.
I went to her concerts. I love Taylor Dane. Hello, I'm blonde. I have long blonde wigs that make me feel like Taylor Dane.
She's a girl from Long Island.
I interviewed her one time. Yeah.
You did, right? Yeah,
she's a girl from Long Island. My boss actually discovered her.
What a voice. Boy, that deep
voice. Brilliant. I heard a story, and I wasn't there at the time, but when I was working for Rick, her biggest hit, Tell It to My Heart, Tell It to My Heart. I mean, I had heard, and I wasn't there, Rich Tancredi was the writer of that song with her, that she had an engagement and said, listen, I'm running late, and I'm going to just sing it, and then you just let me know. And that is like one take, straight through and through, nothing. That's how great she is.
Right, she nailed it.
And another one who was like that was Celine Dion, who I was there for. Like she'd be singing and we were like, you're kidding me. Everything that we were hearing was like so amazing.
Oh my God. Yeah. And her such an original interpretation of a song.
You know who we discovered too? My boss, I shouldn't say my boss, was Billy Porter.
Oh, Billy,
Are you kidding? Oh, my God.
So Billy, before he was Billy, I hope he still remembers me because we had some fun times together back when he was first starting. He was our demo singer.
Wow.
That's how great he was. He would sing the song that we would give, because we were like a production company. So we would, it was owned by Rick Wake. And you ever hear the name Denise Rich by any chance?
Oh, yes.
She was the other partner. Yeah.
Wow.
So Denise was the other partner. And Billy would sing the songs. And there was one time that Billy is so phenomenal that Celine didn't even want to sing it because Billy was so good.
That's
That
cool.
guy's voice and
Yes.
a great person. Oh my God. It was just the sweetest, one of the sweetest people.
You know what?
I've
I
met.
love doing this show because of the story that you just told me. If I
See
didn't do
that?
this show with Tim, we would never. That's a really great story.
Cool.
Well,
I'm happy to share it.
well, now I believe we have a trailer also for
For
your
Twisted, yeah.
yes,
yeah.
for Twisted. So why don't we
Cool.
take a look at that?
Okay.
And so it starts. Scarecrow returns with its new release, Twisted. Now available on all streaming platforms. An epic return and release is now available for your listening pleasure. Scarecrow, Twisted. Check it out now. Available everywhere.
That
Yes.
was sweet, very sweet.
Cool. Thanks. You're seeing excerpts from like the video that we're trying to build right now.
Uh-huh.
We're actually, I'm trying to embrace technology. So that a lot of that in there is AI. And
Right.
I know, people are getting scared of it. And I wasn't sure how I felt about it.
Mhm.
And now when I'm starting to use it as a videographer or something, it's pretty hip. It's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
As long as it doesn't take the human element out of it, there are aspects I really like
Right.
about it.
And
Yeah,
also,
as long as it's being used properly.
right.
If you're having a politician,
Right.
doing handstands, that stuff scares me.
That's something.
That really scares me. If you
Yeah.
can take a picture of somebody
They
and
can.
have him doing
Right.
something that's immoral, that
Mhm.
part of it's scary. I think we're going to really need, I don't know if the government has to step in. I have no idea,
Yeah,
but there
sometimes-
really needs to be some regulations,
Yeah.
They could take this video and have me say, Tim, I don't like your hair or something.
Right.
And
Or
it's
Yeah.
like manipulate my words that I said something that isn't true. By the way, I do love your hair and I'm very jealous. Sorry.
And wait, I'm the witness to the fact that you love Tim's hair.
I love yours too. I just love the way he
darling.
was flipping it before.
I do know that Screen Actors Guild, and I'm a member of we had a lot of meetings about the use of AI and guidelines and all of that. But the
Okay.
reality of the situation in the dark web, I think right now it is a free for all. And
Yeah.
you're right, anybody can do anything, and they could ruin
Yeah.
someone's reputation by putting something completely false out there,
Yep.
and everyone is going to see it and think that it's real.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not sure how we're going to navigate through that, but hopefully it will work out in the end.
That's
that
a good
little-
way of thinking of
In
it.
that
Hopefully-
little trailer and stuff, like the girl who appears, she's not real. I mean, she's
Right.
all AI. And you just sort of manipulate and tell her how you want to be and to dance in a field. And yeah, it's pretty hip,
Someone that I know that produces video games on a very high level, he's very well known, sat me down and showed me one of their latest ones. And this made me a little heartsick because a lot of my actor friends were the characters in video games or the voices.
Okay.
There's not one real human being or voice, not even a
Yeah.
real voice. And the music, you guys, also completely
Yeah.
created through
Yeah.
AI. So I
No,
don't
it's
know.
very, very, very scary.
This-
Everything on like Twisted, I'm still old school analog,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
guy. The drummer is his name is Bobby Marks. Remember Humble Pie?
Humble Pie, of course.
Yeah, he was out on the last Humble Pie tour. We did the bass ourselves. My guitar player is
Nice.
TJ. He's plays with this gentleman named Michael Del Judas, who does like a Billy Joel thing, and he's a
Cool.
backup guitar player for Billy. So, and then you had Dee, of course, and myself, and this came out pretty cool.
I think it came out
Now-
pretty cool. Yeah. What were you going to say, Tim?
I was just going to say that, yeah, one of the things that in the trailer that I noticed was available everywhere.
Yes.
Like, because I also, again, the nostalgia. I also miss waiting for the date for an album to drop and going to
Sure.
the music store, and
Sure.
sifting through the albums. That
Yes.
was part of our culture that's lost.
Tim
Yes.
really said
And
it.
also that was revenue. That was money.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
the artists was the sale of the albums.
Yeah.
And now everything is online. It's free. The artists make like no money at
Right.
all on sales of
Spotify, they make no money. Do you
Nothing.
remember, both of you remember like Sam Goody and Tower Records?
yeah.
Loved it.
You're
The
right.
Colony was
Yeah.
in New York. Colony, right?
You walk
Yeah.
in and we have a certain, I don't know how vinyl smells. I can't describe it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
pick it up in your hand and everything. It was,
No,
Yeah.
it was
And also
wonderful.
like looking, you'd have the insert on the inside that had all the producers' names and everybody's name.
right.
And
Yeah. I used to love that experience, seeing the
Right,
new Kiss
same here.
record that was on there, and you pull it off, and sometimes it was a double album. It's like, oh my
oh
goodness,
yeah.
were you
A
kidding
double
me?
album. Yes.
Would have pages in between or
Yeah.
something like that. That's why I loved about those bands like Kiss and Alice Cooper, Billion Dollar Babies. Do you remember the Alice Cooper record, School's Out? Was a
School's out for summer.
It was a desk, and the album opened
Oh,
this
yes.
way, like a desktop. I
Yes.
was like, this is brilliant,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I missed that part of it. I feel bad for some of the younger generation that doesn't have that, because
No
that
clue.
was a great experience.
It
you know?
was. It
You know
was.
what? I always say this. They have the experiences they have. Okay.
Right,
And
that's
I
true.
have a daughter
Yep.
who's a young adult, and that's exactly what she said. It's great to read about or whatever, but we have our own experiences that
That's
were in our real time, and that's something that like we have to remember.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're living their best life. A lot of them love, by the way, the times that we're talking about, but
Yeah.
they're still having their own thing. I'm curious, John, for
Mhm.
did you have to change your sound at all going forward to make this, like in terms of your own vocal capacity?
Yeah. So I did two things. One was go back to voice lessons to increase range and get my pitch back on. So
Mhm.
there's two teachers that I go to. I don't know if you ever heard of them, Katie Agresta. So Katie Agresta had Cyndi Lauper, John Bon Jovi, and then the gentleman who I went to increase range is Don Lawrence, and he has Lady Gaga, Paul McCartney.
Oh my God, you're really at the top there.
Yeah, they were all great people. So we
Uh-huh.
did a mixture of trying to increase range and then put it through more modern processing to change a little timbre. And that's kind of the element where I'm trying to go to at this point, because the new records, people might not admit it, but that's how they're doing it. There's a certain processing sound with some of these records, and it's a very definitive kind of processing. Let's put it that way.
Right.
But it's still me, still doing it, still me.
Yeah, it's still you out there, John Blaze.
Right, but even the loop and stuff, there's that loop in the song Twisted that's like this pulsating. I'm trying to bring it up more towards a modern approach and sound a little bit more futuristic, you might say.
Yeah. Well, John Blaze, this has been wonderful. I loved sitting down with you and chatting for a little while. This
Awesome.
is great. Now, everybody out there, you can find out more by going to scarecrowweb.com.
Cool.
Scarecrowweb.com.
Got it. And it's under construction right now. So it'll be, or you could send me an email at info@scarecrowweb.com.
Okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're all under construction these days.
Yeah.
Thank you for having
Your
me.
website or Like,
Thank you for
we
having
have
me.
a
You
bunch
guys.
of comments. I love reading the comments. Our wonderful friend Rose Trentman, who is of course the boxing commissioner. Hello, my dear friends. We are all spreading love, energy. Let's enjoy.
Oh,
Our amazing designer, costumer friend, Suze Valve
From
General.
Massachusetts.
Hello, dolls is also watching. Thank you both for tuning in today. So, you know, now I'm going to get pushy. You have all this talent. You've got your new song that's out, right?
Yep.
And you've assembled really great musicians on it. Like, can't we have another really big step? Like, you cut the whole album and then you tour. Ha! I just got right to the chase. We're doing
You
it
know,
here today.
what I'm hoping to happen, there's two things. One, I would love to see it because I think it's a theatrical song. I'd love to see it in a movie or
Got
a TV show. And everything I'm watching on TV, I turn on Netflix, it's like the twisted tale of, and the twisted this, and the twisted that.
Right.
So I'm trying to see if I can get it in there.
Yeah,
and
get
then
it
the
live.
other thing is release it to radio. And I'm hoping maybe, you know, there's a station in Texas that's playing it, and I'm going to go there and do a live show.
Yeah.
But to get out, we're not 16, 18 anymore to get in a van and boop, boop, boop,
Right,
you know.
exactly.
We're not doing that right now.
Not right now, but I got to tell you, we've had them on the show. They're not 16 and
Yeah.
not 16 either.
Listen,
They've been on
hopefully,
that.
fingers crossed, if other stations are playing it, then
Yeah.
I can do a
Yep,
loop. But that would
exactly.
be wonderful.
Exactly.
Thank you guys for having me.
Well,
Oh, my God.
absolutely. John Blaze, we thank you again so much. This was absolutely wonderful.
Awesome. Peace out to you guys. Thank you for having me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today. We have to end the show a little early. Our guest has got places to go and people to see.
Yeah.
We loved having him, and we will be back next week for your viewing pleasure.
This show is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Bye, guys.